Just going to see.
My apologies. Please
Oh,
carry on,
it's
Barry.
now being recorded. Very nice. You missed my song. So I'm just going to have to
Yeah,
start
I
with
know.
I'll start
Yes.
with a song. When April showers may come your way, they bring the flowers that bloom in May. So whether you're in Columbus or Vancouver or anywhere in between, it's good to know that those showers will bring you all the joy and happiness that you deserve. So I just want to jump right forward and introduce myself to give you bona fides and make you feel better about the fact that we're going to be speaking about being an entrepreneur, being in tech, and facing challenges in life. So I'll just give you a brief background. My handle in life, I've been dubbed by the international press as the ambassador of joy. And you'll hear why in just a few moments. Also, I am a mental health activist. I am involved with something called Stop the Stigma because of things that I've been through in my life and faced and overcome, thank God, but recognize that people are faced with quite real challenges. I am happy to tell you I've built several companies, two of which have exited in the public arena. I've made, thank God, many millions of dollars. I have 3 US issued patents. I use my talents to build organizations that serve the public because by service, you engender benefit for everyone. Matter of fact, I'm going to share something with you that I'd like you to write down. Write down the word business. Business. Yusuf, write down the word business, please. You got it? Notice something remarkable about the word business. The U comes before the I in business. Because the
Yeah,
reason,
please turn your sounds off, please. That would be really great. Barry, my apologies. I'm gonna mute everyone and then I'll unmute you. Okay, 1 second. Uh, okay, Barry. Actually, I'm gonna if you can unmute yourself, Barry, please.
there we go.
There you go. Thank you.
Okay, have you been recording this?
Yeah,
This is
yes, it's
great for
all
my
being
staff.
recorded, including that snafu, but
Great.
all will be fine. Yes.
Good. So everybody wrote down the word business. I want you to just look at it and understand that in business, the you comes before the I. Because when you build something of value, you are presenting it to other people. And if they find value, not only will you be able to build something, but you'll attract people. And we work with the law of attraction. As I said, thank God, as you can see, I'm older than 25, even though my mental acuity is in the age of 25 to 26. But chronologically, I'm 73. I built businesses, public exits, made a lot of money. Thank God, also lost a lot of money because that's the nature of business. But it's always built around the idea of attracting people to yourself rather than out there hustling. You got to be careful. You got to go out. You got to make the world know what you're doing, but understand that everything is built around offering value to people. Also, I'll just tell you a very interesting story. Imagine the following: standing up in the morning, just like you are all doing, hale and hearty, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound, and that evening be in the hospital, totally, completely paralyzed, not from an automobile accident, not a spinal injury, a rare disease which I never heard of the day before, took over my body and rendered me what's called a quadriplegic. Nothing in my body moved. All I could do was blink my eyes. I was 144 days in the hospital. I was 2 years in a hospital bed in my own home. I couldn't turn over by myself. 4 years in a wheelchair. I had braces on both my legs, my hips to my ankles. That was progress. Thank God today I'm able to be vertical and ambulatory with the help of a 7-foot walking wand, which you see right there on the cover of my book. So I'm a triped, not a biped. I still can't walk up a stair by myself. I can't walk up a curb by myself. And I've helped 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, but you hear my voice. Positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, all because of one word, by the way, which we'll talk about as we go forward. And that word is smile, because smile is an acronym that stands for seeing miracles in life every day. Seeing miracles in life every day. Yes, you want to write that down, Amy. It's really good. Use it. Now, in the course of recovery, of being able to move again, I learned how to swim. Now I swim with aids. I have flotation devices on my legs so I don't sink. I wear paddles on my hands because my fingers don't close. I use a snorkel, but I now swim 2 miles a day, 6 days a week. And I've been doing that for almost 14 years. And as of May 1st, 2022, I've accumulated 8,500 miles. Thank God today I swam another couple of miles. So I'm over 8,500. And my goal is to swim around the world and raise $20 million for mental health activities to fight the stigma. And the key of this all is to learn how to live stress free. So I'd like you to do the following for your benefit. Put in the chat how many of the people here would like to learn how to live stress free. Put in there. Say yes or say no. No, I don't want to live stress free. I love stress. I want to make sure that I have so much of it that it bothers my life. Yes, thank you. Hello. And by the way, thank you, Diane. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. I was going to mention it, but I'm glad, it's rather coming from you than from me. So thank you. So here we are. Let's go to the next slide, Sunil, so we can keep moving forward. Let's talk about the three fundamentals of successful living. And this applies, by the way, to high tech, low tech, no tech, but it applies to living. The three fundamentals of life are, number one, life has purpose. When you lead a purpose-driven life, number two happens. Now, in this case, that's a good number two. In this case, you go mad. You lead a purpose-driven life, you go mad. MAD is a great acronym. It stands for make a difference. And the third fundamental of life is to unlock the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms, such as WWW. Right now, we're all on a program, on a Zoom call, which, by the way, will be seen by hundreds, if not thousands of people around the world as we promote it. And that is all carried over the internet, that magical, mystical, mythical platform, right? But if you ask anybody, what does WWW stand for? I ask you, you'd all answer has something to do with the internet, right? And factually speaking, you'd be correct. But in our world, WWW stands for what a wonderful world. And whata is a word, right? WHATA. Everybody knows that. What a wonderful world. If you know that song by Louis Armstrong, Satchmo, went viral, not just touched tens of millions, 100 million, billions of people around the planet. And whenever you hear the opening words, what do? You can't help it. You smile. Now remember, SMILE stands for seeing miracles in life every day. But I gotta tell you a quick story. My 8-year-old niece comes over to me a few weeks ago and she says, Uncle Barry, can we spell smile SMIEL? And I thought about it. Smile sounds the same. Why not? I asked her, how come? She said, 8-year-old. She said, because then it would stand for seeing miracles in everyday life. How do you like that? Out of the mouth of babes. That's how wonderful. Because so what are your benefits from being together today for these few minutes? We're going to learn the three fundamentals of life. Life has purpose. You can go mad. You make a difference. Unlock the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. And you will be able to thereby learn to live in the now. Now, I think everybody knows what now is, correct? Let me tell you what now is. You ready? Anybody ever ask you to do something and you say, okay, later, I'll be right there, or I'll do that later? Or you think you're going to do something and you say to yourself mentally, I'll do that later? Put in the chat if you've ever said, I'll do that later. Anybody ever said that? Later is the first step to never. You hear me? One of the greatest books I've ever read that influenced me is called Be Here Now. Now stands for no other way. 3 tools to use in now. Now stands for no other way. When something happens that needs your attention, I beg of you, I plead with you, I urge you, I push you. Do not put it off, even for a moment. When you engage your thoughts, your words, and your deeds, and they align, you're living in the now. Now, once you live in the now, guess what happens? You own your life. You own responsibility. Own is the same letters as now, correct? NOWOWN. Own stands for only with now. And then when you live that way with 100% responsibility, guess what happens? You've won. One of the same letters as WON, right? Or ONW. And one stands for with only now. So when you learn to live in the now and to act in the now and proceed with life into now, you have assumed responsibility and you can begin the journey of you. Next slide, please, which stands for the word joy. Joy is all about the journey of you. So let's talk about two secrets to reducing overwhelm at the moment. Would you like to learn two secrets? Hello? Good.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So first of all, joy stands for journey of you. When you're the best you possible, you make the world a better place. You help yourself, you help your family, your friends, all living beings. The first secret to reducing overwhelm is breathe. Breathe. Now, of course, you should all put in the chat, hello, Barry Shore. Of course I'm breathing. I'm here. We're not talking about shallow breathing that just keeps you alive. What we're talking about is deep breathing. It's called diaphragmatic breathing. There's only two issues with that. Most people don't know how to spell it, and they don't know where it is, even though we have one. So I call it tummy breathing. I'm just going to go very quickly through this because it's to your advantage. You can learn more about it if you go to my website, barryshore.com, where we give free classes on how to do this. But this will enable you to beat overwhelm. Breathing deeply into your tummy, you breathe in through your nose, into your tummy, and breathe out slowly through your mouth. It takes about 8 seconds. You do that 4 times. That's all, just 4 times. So it's going to take you about 32, 35 seconds. What will happen is you'll become calm and aware. But here's the key. Do this twice a day, once before noon, once after noon, for 11 days in a row. Do not miss a day. If you ever miss a day, start again. Because by the 12th day of the practice, that's when it kicks in and you'll become consciously calm and aware. Let's talk about the idea of using stress to your advantage. Now that sounds like an oxymoron, doesn't it? I can use stress to my advantage. First of all, what is stress? Stress is an acronym that stands for stomach turning reality, enabling self-sabotage. Ah! Do you know what happened? I lost my job. We might lose the house. The kids are going crazy. My cousin committed suicide. The country's falling apart. Oh! Okay, that's how people feel inside. They may not express it outside, but that's what happens with stress. People are internalizing it and causing themselves problems. Let's take a look at another way of understanding stress. Stress is stomach turning reality. Again, you're right. You may have lost your job. You may lose a house. Your cousin did commit suicide. The kids are going crazy because they're in lockdown. Country's falling apart. There's war in the world. Enabling self-success. The 6 most important words you could ever internalize, utilize, and leverage in your life are choice, not chance, determines your destiny. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. How you respond in any given situation will make the difference between self-sabotage and self-success. You can use stress to your advantage. Stomach turning reality, enabling self-success, determined by you, how you respond to any situation. Let's talk for the moment about what we've presented so far. I'd love to hear a couple of questions from anybody here on the panel. Hello, please.
Hey,
Oh,
Barry, do you wanna just do the presentation and do the Q&A later on, or you wanna?
well, I just want to see if there's any question at the moment.
Sure. Amy had a question about how long do you do your breathing?
Oh, very good. Thank you. So let me go back and to reiterate 2 things on the breathing. Number 1, I want you to use this idea. You ready? Allow conscious, loving breath. Usually when we do talk breathing, we say, oh, take a breath or take a deep breath. Let's push aside the word take and use the word allow. Allow conscious, loving breath in through your nose, as deep into your tummy as you can, and then slowly let it out through your mouth. As I said, it takes somewhere between 8 and 12 seconds to do that. And to do that 4 times. Now, there are other pieces that I layer in. Again, if you listen to the meditation piece that I have put on my YouTube channel, but it's what happens is In 4 breaths like this, you begin to enter the calm, aware stage. It's so wonderful. But again, do it twice a day, once before noon, once afternoon. Happens to be, I do it first thing in the morning within the first 2.5, 3 minutes when I arise at 5:23 in the AM. And I do it before I go to sleep because it brings benefit. Okay, other questions? Any other
Uh,
questions on the board?
Tiffany, would you like to ask your question? If you can just pipe in, Tiffany, please.
Yeah, I was just, you're probably going to get to it, but I was just so curious about the second secret to reducing overwhelm.
Oh, very good. The second way to reduce stress. Yes, I'm going to get to it.
The
Let me just
second,
see if there are any other
she
questions.
meant the, sorry, Barry, she meant the second way to reducing overwhelm, right?
Oh, reducing overwhelm. Fine. Well, I can do it now. Just let's see. Any other questions at the moment?
Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? None at this
Okay,
point. Yeah.
let's go to the next way of reducing overwhelm. And you're going to love this one because it will seem so easy. And yet I want you to recognize when you start practicing these processes, you need to be conscious. And that's really the key, being conscious and aware. The second one is what we call practice gratitude. How do you practice gratitude? We're going to use the 2 most powerful words in the English language 3 times a day, consciously and with forethought. So let me begin. The 2 words are thank you, thank you, thank you. Of course, I say thank you. Yes, but we're going to get consciously and conscientiously. Thank is a wonderful acronym that stands for to harmonize and network kindness. To harmonize and network kindness. The Dalai Lama has been quoted as saying, and I've read in his writings, be kind whenever possible. And as he says, it's always possible. So let's imagine that we can now go back into our coffee shops without a mask on and human beings there. Go back to your coffee shop, you order your fancy latte, you sit down, somebody brings it to you. You say, thank you. You walk in the coffee shop, you order your fancy latte, and a couple of minutes go by, nobody brings it. You go to the counter and say, oh, I'm sorry, we're busy, we forgot. We'll bring it to you, sit down, a couple of minutes go by, somebody brings you, still say thank you, right? Imagine you're walking out of the coffee shop, it's raining out like it is in most of the United States, north of where I live. And somebody holds the door open for you. What do you say? Thank you. Imagine walking out of the coffee shop, it's raining out, and somebody slams the door on you. What do you say? Yes, thank you. Not the other thing. Imagine you're in traffic, you're late for an appointment, and somebody cuts you off. You say, thank you. Imagine you get up in the middle of the night and you stub your toe and it hurts. You say, thank you. To harmonize and network kindness. Think of the word kind as keep inspiring noble deeds. When you utilize this practice, practicing gratitude 3 times a day, yes, you may say thank you 15 times a day, but those become automatic. We're talking about conscious and conscientious. You practice this 3 times a day, you will make your life better, that of your family, your friends, and all living beings. Who doesn't want that? Is that a wonderful way to reduce overwhelm? Yeah, the answer is yes, it works. And you'll be sending me notes and saying, wow, I'm so glad I came to this webinar. Because these are life shifting issues. Now, by the way, when I talk about shift perspective, for some reason, I don't know why, a lot of people have the habit of dropping the F and shift, and the other stuff happens. So you got to be very careful with your F's. Shift happens when you practice these small ideas, such as breathing and saying thank you, consciously and conscientiously. Very good. Any other questions at the moment? And then we'll go forward.
None right now, Barry.
Okay, let me just mention about, we do have a free gift today, and it's wonderful. You'll use it, you go and get it, use it. There are videos by me about living in joy daily, no matter the circumstances. Imagine that, living in joy daily, no matter the circumstances. Remember, joy stands for journey of you. So it's entirely up to you. Like we said, stress, stomach turning reality, enabling self success. Okay, next slide. Wonderful, Sunil. Oh, okay, we covered some of these already, so I'm just going to go back over again. Remember, this is so critical to your ability to engage, move forward, and build if you're talking in business. Later is the first step to never. And you'll see it for yourself once you're now attuned to it. When you either say later or somebody says it to you, yeah, I'll do that later or in 5 minutes and things like that, that doesn't put you in the now. The 6 most important words to internalize, utilize, and leverage in your life are choice, not chance, determines your destiny. How you respond in any given situation will make all the difference for you and your business and the people you work with. You'll become the best you possible. When you're the best you make the world a better place. You build more bridges of harmony. You create more joy, happiness, peace, and love. And again, stress, stomach turning reality, enabling self sabotage or self success. Next, Sunil. Okay, this is really fun. I'd like everybody, please, for your benefit, write down the word challenge. You all know how to spell it. Write it down. And what I'd like you to do, first of all, do people like challenges? If you like, there's right now there's a lot of this going around about 3-day challenge, 5-day challenge, and such. How many people actually like challenges? If you do, let me know. If you don't, let me know. Put it in the chat, please. Let me hear. I see an I do. I do. Hard but beneficial. Oh, very good. Thank you. I love honest people. Keep going. I do. Very good. Anybody else? Who likes challenges? Okay. Hard but worthwhile. I am. I do. Depends on the challenge. Very good. Sort of. Okay, that's a wishy-washy. Very good. I guess it depends what the challenge is. Excellent. Okay, let's take a look at the word challenge. Everybody's written it down. What I'd like you to do is underline the first 3 letters in the word challenge. Okay, and this is not a dance. That was a little side humor if anybody knows that dance. Okay, and I'd like you to look at underline the last 3 letters in the word challenge. And now, at least one person, hopefully 2 or 3, will yell out, what do those 6 letters spell? Yes, change. Change. We have a very wonderful phrase in the business world. Change is great. You go first. Right? But let's look at the middle letters. LLE. LLE stands for learn to love and embrace change. Learn to love and embrace change. Let's be blunt. The biggest change, the biggest shift, and you can remember to pronounce the F because otherwise that other stuff happens. In the past 2 years in almost everybody's life throughout the world has been the pandemic, panic, lockdown, correct? And now we have the great reset or the great this or the great that. It may not be so great, but it's big. In everybody's life, there has been change. The question is, what do you do about it? I urge you all to consider let, love, embrace change. Take my example, my life. Hello, standing up in the morning, hale and hearty, completely capable of anything that you are, and in the evening in the hospital, totally, completely paralyzed. Would you call that a change? Did I wake up the next morning and say, oh, this is so delightful, I'm embracing it? Well, hello, I'm human. It took a long time. I could only blink my eyes. To be able to move my head left to right took months. But I use the process to great advantage for myself, and thank God for many thousands of people. This happened, by the way, on September 17th, 2004. So it's been a number of years. And now the next piece is learn to become a spiritual chiropractor. Okay, everybody knows what a chiropractor is, I presume. And I also will presume that many people here have been to a chiropractor in the physical sense. You're feeling a little bit out of sorts, all right? And all of a sudden somebody goes, cracks a bone, and you can hear it and feel, there's alignment. Well, this is what you want to do to align your thoughts, your words, and your deeds. When your thoughts are in good, and your words are in good, and your deeds are aligned in good, you're in your own spiritual chiropractor. You're now in alignment. You're flowing. I'd like to share something wonderful. Again, I learned from my 8-year-old niece. This was so much fun. We were in the garden. We were talking about flowers and such, because I live here in a place called Henderson, Nevada now. I just moved from a place called Venice Beach, California, where we lived for 45 years, right near the water. It was beautiful. But now we're in Henderson, Nevada, different kinds of fauna and such. And my niece was looking at all the different kinds of things that we have. It was really interesting. And I asked her, because I was thinking about this, I asked her, how do you pronounce the word LOW? So she's precocious, and LOW, Uncle Barry, that's low. I said, oh, great. How about if you put an F in front of it? She thought about it, said, flow. I said, wonderful. What is flow? Flow, she says, nice movement and such. Great. I said, what is this? She said, oh, that's a flower. I said, really? Look at how it's spelled though. Flower. I want to pronounce it flower. And she laughed and she looked at me just like you did, Diane. She started laughing. Said, Uncle Barry, come on. It's a flower. I said, yes, but look at it. Everything inside of it is moving. You don't see it, but it has energy. It has movement. It has life. It's growing. It's really a flower, just because we pronounce it differently. But that's what you become when you're in your own spiritual chiropractor. You align yourself and you are in flow. And everybody here knows when you're in flow, good stuff happens. Am I correct on that? Good stuff happens when you're in flow. Again, go back to the point of breathing. The point of breathing, deep breathing, is to create that flow inside of you so you become consciously calm and aware. It's a wonderful feeling. 11 days in a row, before noon, afternoon, by the 12th day, something's going to click and you want to keep doing it. Next slide, please. By the way, some questions at the moment?
Any questions from anybody?
Oh, I have 20 questions, but I'll reserve them. Okay. Questions? Oh, thank you for that. Align with success. Very good. Conscious think, speak, and act. That's wonderful. I love the flower example.
I'm
Isn't it cool,
curious.
by the way?
Yeah, actually, Amy, what do you see? What did you learn from the flower example? I'm just curious to hear.
It's
Amy, if you like.
interesting because, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yeah.
can.
I've always actually associated life, the change, the challenges, the experience that we go through in life with flowers, and the idea of, a seedling growing up through the dirt, sprouting, the challenges that it faces with the environment, and, just the growth that happens. So what I liked Barry's example because it connected me to that, but also it just made me think about life and how life is about flow and energy and connection,
Yeah, it's wonderful. I see the art behind you, and
Oh,
yeah.
By the way, I like that. Life, energy, connection. That was really good. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Barry.
You're welcome. Okay,
Thank you.
very nice. Okay, the guide to having a joyful life as a business owner. Oh, I purposely wrote this with Sunil because I laugh when I present this. And thank God I've been able to present this kind of outline to many, many tens of thousands of people. And people sometimes break out laughing when they look at it and they say, wait a minute, it's an oxymoron. Joyful life as a business owner? Come on. I mean, business is tough. Business is this, business is that. Joyful life, yeah. So the first thing is, when I achieve X, Y, and Z, whatever that is for you, a number of them, $5 million in sales, $1 million in net profit, $100 million, $1 billion. When I achieve this, my degree from this school or that school, my friend was just one of 180 people that just graduated from medical school yesterday. Great. 180 out of the class. He was number 6 and he's going to his residency. And now he's going to face 4 years of being a resident, which means 50 plus hours a week before you actually make any money. I mean, they pay him something, but very little. When I achieve this, I'll be happy. He's been working with me and I've been working with him for the past year and a half because he found medical school to be overwhelming, a pressure cooker. And he's so thankful now that he's doing much of what we're talking about here. So instead of when I achieve this, then I'll be happy or I'll be calm or I'll be able to do those things you're talking about, Barry Shore. It's the now, remember? N-O-W, no other way. Now. Oh, thank you. Good thing I have it right at my fingertips. I'm going to put this out. I don't know. Can everybody see this? If you can see my what I have on my water bottle, I'll talk. Maybe I'll do a little slower.
We can barely see it, Barry.
They can see it?
But barely, we can barely. Why don't you read it out or describe it?
Okay, I'll tell you what it is. So I have a water bottle, like almost everybody in America today. We all have water bottles around the house, right? Plastic. So I wrap my water bottle in paper and tape it, and I write the words love and gratitude on my water bottle. Love and gratitude. These are the two most powerful, positive, purposeful, pleasant words and ideas that you can work with. Love stands for living on vibrant energy, living on the vibrational plane. There's a wonderful series of books by a great Japanese scientist who just passed away a few years ago, who did research. I'm sure almost everybody has heard of it. If you don't, just Google it, you'll see. He did research on a presumption that he had that if you could photograph water molecules, will they respond to, let's say, positive or negative input? And that was his thesis. Turns out that his thesis showed, and he did this over the course of years by freezing water and looking at crystals, that water responds positively to positive input, such as the words love, gratitude, uplifting music, et cetera, and negatively to stress. And you can see the photographs, they're amazing. They're wondrous. So I had the great privilege of communicating with one of his students just a couple of years ago and told him what I decided to do. And he sent me back, Japanese student. He sent me back, he said, the professor would be so happy. He's smiling in heaven right now because that's what he wants people to do. He used to do that himself. So I urge everybody, make yourself crazy. Get a piece of paper, write the words love and gratitude and wrap it around your water bottle and keep reusing that or put it around a bunch of them. But it's a great conversation opener, by the way. It will keep you in the flow. Remember, you're a flower, right? Isn't that what water's all about?
Yep. And
the third thing that I'd love to mention to you, in living and having a joyful life as a business owner, I just want to make one other mention. I've given out as gifts. I work with companies, sometimes they have as few as 5 employees, just recently working with one that has 6,520 employees, and they've adopted this. And the water bottles that are available now to all the people who work in that company, that large company and the smaller company, all have a love and gratitude wrap. And the feedback, the input that I get from this makes me smile continuously. Remember what SMILE stands for? Remember? What does SMILE stand for? Seeing miracles in life every day. Or better, as my 8-year-old niece says, seeing miracles in everyday life. So I want to talk about stop the stigma for the moment, because part of being a business owner and living with stress and overwhelm is to learn how to dissipate it and to learn how to be a flower and to learn to live in joy. Remember, joy stands for journey of you. Everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Therefore, I urge, be kind always. Now, kind stands for keep inspiring noble deeds. I mentioned previously that I'm swimming a lot. I swim 2 miles a day, 6 days a week. I can barely walk, but I can swim. It's wonderful. And part of my vision is I'm swimming around the world. I'm doing it by myself, and I'm enlisting several other very famous people in the swimming world, one of whom is Michael Phelps, who I'll swim 2 miles a day. He'll swim. Another person that's very famous, Mark Spitz, and we're recruiting a couple other people so that over the course of a year, we'll cumulatively swim 2,000 miles at a time. So over the next 5 to 6, 7 years, we'll have swum around the world. Swim, swam, swum. And we're urging people to contribute 2 cents a mile for over whatever you want. You can choose 100 miles, 1,000 miles, whatever. And it's all money that's going to go towards, well, there's an organization, but it's a whole idea called Stop the Stigma. And the stigma is that people don't have mental health issues. Everybody has some to an extent. You all recall last year during the Olympics, this remarkably gifted superstar in the gymnastic world, Simone Biles, who said at a certain point she had to stop. She was having a breakdown. The pressures that we impose upon ourselves and others are such that one needs to be able to work with everything we're presenting today, to be able to internalize, utilize, and leverage in our lives so that we admit that we have issues, work with them, and go beyond them. Again, I was a quadriplegic for years. You can imagine that's a lot of stress. And the amount of money it takes to be sick in America, we're not going to discuss it. But I'm telling you, it's in the millions at the moment. Okay, next slide. Wonderful, Sunil. Oh, what is our gift to you? It's great. Free introductory course to the Joy of Living, which is the title of my book. Not the Joy of Living, but the Joy of Living. I urge you to get it. You can see the, what do you call it, the URL there. It has several videos. There's a workbook. Tens of thousands of people have gone, use it, love it. And I said, you'll go mad. Remember what MAD stands for? Make a difference. You lead a purpose-driven life, which is number one. The result of that is you go mad, you make a difference in life. So I urge everybody to do it. It doesn't cost you anything. Actually, it does. It costs you your most valuable possession. Your most valuable possession, which of course is your time. Investment of your time in yourself is the best investment you could ever make. The best, far and away. Okay, is that our final slide, Sunil?
So we're just going to take questions at this point, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
And so please type in your questions.
Let's do one thing. Ready?
Yes, please.
Let's have in the chat section a quick round of applause for Barry Shore. Quick round of applause, please. Hello. Thank you. Thank you. In the chat section, say yay. That you enjoyed it, you loved it, it was helpful, you found something. Remember, all we're asking is that one something is to your advantage. That's all. One something. Whether it's the now, it's the MAD, it's the ability to understand stress better. It's really about joy. Joy is the journey of you. That's why we're here. So yeah, smile and joy. Thank you. Okay. Wow, look at this coming in from all places. Okay.
It's pouring on, Barry. I got a question here from Pratik. Pratik, would you like to unmute yourself and ask your question, please? Pratik Vasudev.
Oh,
Go
hello.
ahead, please.
Thank you.
Yeah. What's your question,
Hello.
Pratik? Yeah.
Thanks for having me here. My question is, how does one get into flow, the state of flow? And added one to it was that how does one break the cycle of procrastination? I mean, howsoever you would want to address, I am present. These were my questions actually.
Very good.
Thank you, Pratik. First of all, where are you from, Pratik? Where are you physically at the moment?
Right now, I'm in Portland, Oregon.
Very nice. The question, if I may rephrase, how does one break through the barrier of procrastination? Fair enough? In business, by the way, as I said, I've built and run and exited 2 companies that went public. And we have the great phrase, which is, I don't know if people still use it, but it was quite prevalent 10, 20, 30 years ago. It is paralysis by analysis. Yeah, people still use it, right? Okay. One of the ways that I have found it has worked for me, I've seen it work for many other very successful people, is to begin to use the idea of now. If you recall, particularly, I don't know if you were here in the beginning of the program, but we talked about one of the ways to break through overwhelm and such is to understand that the word later is the first step to never. Doing something now puts you in a different physical, mental, and spiritual space. And when we're talking about shift, and remember I told you it's tongue in cheek, but it works. The F in shift is very important because without it, the other stuff happens. If you have an idea that tickles your fancy, that you think may be of benefit to you and to other people, do something about it now. It may be as simple as writing down somebody's phone number, as simple as hitting a speed dial and calling somebody, as simple as telling your significant other, I just had a great idea. Doing something when you're manifesting what your idea is, puts you in a different place. So I've given this advice to many people, and I urge you to do it. Practice this. This is like any other muscle. Practice the power of now, and you will find within a short period of time, maybe even a week or so of actualizing it, that it will make a difference for you. You will break the bonds of procrastination. How does that help?
Pratik, yeah. Any comment,
Uh,
Pratik? Yeah.
Oh, thank you for sharing this. And I am working towards that. Uh, it's uh, it's just that I do get bogged down by the negativity. And working through that actually exhausts me a lot. So, and I'm unable to. I wouldn't say this. I am learning about this again. Is that currently my body is finding it difficult to work through the process of healing, because you talked about spirituality and many things in one go. So I wanted to ask, you made a very good point of power of now. How are you able to keep yourself productive for, do you plan ahead, or do you uh, I mean, I'm sorry if I'm taking someone else's time.
Finish your question and then
Finish your
we'll
question. Yeah,
see.
please.
Okay, so I wanted to ask, how do you plan your week, days, or a quarter? Uh, because what I'm having is that certain times each day is a new day for me, so I have to re-begin. I mean, I have to begin things differently than my previous day. So could you please point me out, how do you plan your work and make yourself more productive?
Okay, we're going to get to your question first. Letty has her question that she posted. What can we do to avoid the feeling of overwhelm? Let me repeat it. What can we do to avoid the feeling of overwhelm? Everybody hear the question? Notice what I emphasize in the question. What can we do to avoid the feeling of overwhelm? So you've been with Barry Shaw now for almost an hour. I think that you probably are getting a sense of how I'm going to answer. You ready? Wonderful Letty and everybody else who's listening. Personally, I don't want you to avoid the feeling of overwhelm. I want you to be able to know that you are not overwhelmed because you're using certain techniques that keep you from being overwhelmed. One of them, again, is breathing. When you begin this process of conscious, loving breath, it sounds too simple. Isn't that wonderful? Something simple. You don't have to download an app. You don't have to scratch your ear with the opposite hand. You don't have to do something only on a Tuesday between 11 a.m. and 11:22. It's what will happen to your being when you orient yourself to being the best you possible. Overwhelm goes away. It's as if it's a smoke screen and you just blow on it. Or even better, you remember what's that flower that we pick up? Is it a dandelion or something like that? You pick a
Dandelion. Yeah.
dandelion
Right.
and
Yeah.
you blow on it and isn't that wonderful? I want you to use either that idea or smoke or something that you can gently breathe out and the feeling of overwhelm begins to dissipate. I'd rather you don't avoid it. I think it will be even better for you if it doesn't even begin to be part of your life. So I hope that was of help. Let's go back to, if I may,
Yeah.
oh,
Pratik.
thank you. Thank you, Amy. Breathing helps and gratitude. Absolutely. Again, we can do this 2, 3, 4, 5 more times. We're only beginning and we just start having fun. Thank you for your question, Pratik. I have the same problem with procrastinating and overwhelm. Okay. Let me see. So let's go back to Pratik. I'm going to tell you what I do personally and what I've done to help many people when it comes to their day, their planning, et cetera, et cetera. I would be willing to wager that almost everybody on this call has a to-do list. Is that fair to assume? Yes? Everybody makes a to-do list. And I would also be willing to wager significant money, $1,000 to a donut, that most people have on their to-do list somewhere between 5 and 10 items. Fair enough? If I'm wrong, put it in the chat and say, Barry, you're wrong. Or put in the chat, oh yeah, some people have even more than that. Okay. Okay. So here's the interesting thing. Pratik, if I'm going to give you the answer, because you asked a question, I'm going to need you to follow through on what I'm going to give you as advice. Fair enough? Okay,
Yes, please.
here we go. You may make a to-do list. You may not have on your to-do list more than 3 items. And once you've put down the 3 items that you want to accomplish for that day, you need to rank them. I use ABC, but you can put 1, 2, 3. You can put $, smiley face, whatever you want, to give them weight, so that you have 3 items. And the first, let's say item number 2 now really becomes item number 1 after you've looked at the 3. Saying that's the one to complete that item. That item's done, you go to the next. Then you go to the next. It's most likely that when you're being honest with yourself, that the 3 items are things that really must, should, and will be done for your benefit. You hear what I'm saying? For your benefit. Because you know your world the best. One of the processes that we're doing here is we're unfolding for ourselves what it means to get closer to ourself. That's a wonderful thing. Most people avoid getting close to self. By the way, that's a very important tactic in not having overwhelm, is to learn how to be kind and gentle with self. So Pratik, make a list, check it twice, find out who's going to be on your list that's naughty and nice, and make sure that there are only 3 items, get them done. You know how you're going to feel after you've accomplished the 3 most important tasks that you have set for yourself? Wow, this is great. I'm empowered. You hear that? Look how you're smiling. You can feel it already. You do this, and you do this regularly. I am assuring you, I'm guaranteeing to you that within less than 30 days, this will become so important to you that you're going to want to share it with somebody else. By the way, the word share is wonderful. S-H-A-R-E. Remember, that's the 3rd fundamental on unpacking and finding the treasure in individual everyday words. Share stands for spreading happiness and rejuvenating energy. Spreading happiness and rejuvenating energy. Woo! Isn't that what share is all about? It's like love and gratitude. Spreading happiness. So Pratik, you're the one. You're going to go out there. You're going to do this. And you're going to send back a note to me, to Sunil, to other people and say, I discovered something wonderful. You can say, I don't mind. It's to your advantage. Okay, you got it?
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. We'll talk about appreciation. Maybe we'll do another webinar next month. Appreciation is a very, very important item.
Pratik, why don't you come back to the next one and practice this for 30 days at least, or if not a few days, and then let us know how it's going. Because the key is in the practice. Right, Barry?
Absolutely correct. I must say it's 2
Right.
o'clock, and I need to exit in a few minutes,
Okay.
if I may.
So, just really quickly, everybody, I'm going to post the free gift for all of you. You can click on the link, obviously, and go there. And I just want to really, on behalf of all of us, thank you, Barry, for the opportunity to be with you and learn from you. And thank you, all of you, for being here and participating and learning. I hope you got to all the questions. If we didn't, we'll be sending out a recording of this too, so you can review this. And it'll be done in a couple of days or so.
Okay,
But
wonderful, Sunil. What I'd like to do with your permission, actually, even
Please.
without your permission, I'd like to do a group hug.
please
And then
go ahead.
leave everybody with a blessing. And by the way, I hope there are many more questions that we didn't ask or get answered, because that says people really loved it. It's always better that people have more questions than not. Okay, so I'm urging everybody to do a group hug. Hug stands for heartfelt, unlimited giving. Heartfelt, unlimited giving. Okay, on the count of 3, please. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
And our blessing to everybody is go forth Live exuberantly. Spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad. Go make a difference.
Bye-bye, everybody. Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody. Enjoy.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Take
Thank
care,
you.
everyone.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody. All right, Barry.
Bye.
Yeah. All right. Bye-bye. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you.